Welcome to America, land of the free, home of the brave, and on occasion the birthplace of some of the dumbest ideas on the planet. Lately, MAGA cult members have taken time away from arguing things like whether magnets work underwater, whether windmills cause cancer, or if you can nuke a hurricane, to instead dredge up the only part of our history that is more embarrassing than enslaving other human beings. Fighting a literal war with half the country because they liked oppressing people so much, they didn't want to stop doing it. So join me today as we take a look at our good friend Jordan Klepper to getting together a group of people to discuss whether or not we want to run it back on this episode of Progressive Matters.
Lately, the crowds have been coalescing around one particular idea that nobody wants to hear.
Civil War?
Civil War.
Civil War.
Civil War.
Civil War.
The Civil War, our country's bitter attempt at divorce that ended with mom and dad back together in a state of constant resentment.
That's right. The other C word. You know, the war that killed more Americans than World War I and II combined. And when you consider that one of the guys in charge would be this guy right here, I'm betting that record is not going to stand a chance. Let's be honest. Trump is not exactly known for being much of a military man. I mean, this is a guy who dodged the draft because his feet hurt. He's also a guy who called POWs losers and didn't like being around soldiers who had lost limbs in the name of defending Trump's right to spew utter nonsense. He has demeaned and insulted some of the top military personnel in the country. But hey, he's still got the My Pillow guy, and I've heard he's looking for work. But is this real? Are people that brainwashed that they would throw away this amazing country because a draft-dodging buffoon wearing an orange skin suit can't take losing?
43% of Americans think it's very likely there's a civil war in the next decade.
Okay, I'm going to be perfectly straight up and honest. It's going to happen much sooner than that.
How close are we to another civil war?
I think we're closer than we'd like to think. And I used to be afraid to talk about it. Now I think it's important for us to talk about it.
To talk about a civil war?
Yeah, because I think we have to be aware of where we're at. I don't think it's going to be north and south with large marching armies. You know, if I live in Illinois, there's going to be Republicans and Democrats in Illinois. I do think it could get violent easily.
I mean, that's scary.
It is.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. So let me get this straight. MAGA cult members want to fight a civil war. Why? Is it because the evil leftists are demanding equal rights regardless of ethnicity or sexuality? Is it because evil leftists are demanding that their government provide social safety nets for its citizenry? Is it because the evil leftists are demanding fair wages and the ability to unionize? Or is it because MAGA cult members are realizing that their caveman ideologies are outdated and no longer relevant in a society that doesn't want to oppress other human beings because they are gay or don't want to worship your God and represent his values? Is it because Jim Jones promised there would be cake? Because the cake is a lie. Speaking of cake, I've seen some of these people. They are not exactly in fighting shape. Something tells me that most of these people haven't even been on a treadmill in the last decade.
What is the skill set you bring to the battlefield?
Well, I'm good with a gun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. James?
I have survival skills. I was in the military. I know how to shoot a weapon, hand-to-hand combat if I have to. I could stick you with a knife and not, cry about it.
We're laughing about sticking people with a knife.
Sweet baby Jesus, how did we get here? Oh, that's right. Half the country decided they wanted a reality TV show host as a president to show everyone how upset they were at the system. And then, when 81 million of us said fuck that noise in the following election and voted him out of office, the Lord of the Ting and his cult had a meltdown of epic proportions. So now we are deciding who's going to shank who. In the words of mothers across the country, have you lost your goddamn minds? Do any of these people even understand what war looks like? These are people who get upset when a traffic light takes too long. These are people who get upset when their internet is slow or the fast food restaurant messes up their order. And how long is this war going to last? I certainly hope it's over before the next season of House of Dragons. The last season ended on a real cliffhanger, and I'm not going to let Dirty Don and the boys keep me from watching the downfall of House Targaryen. And after this is all over, exactly how are we supposed to be splitting the good old U.S. of A?
Who sees himself as conservative, part of the red map here? Are these the states you would want?
Oh, I much prefer the red states.
What breaks your heart? What are you going to miss?
Well, Arizona, isn't that supposed to be a red state,
Yeah,
though?
let's say we give you Arizona. Where do you want to travel to?
Well, I love California, but it's turned into such a shithole.
Let's be fair, as a red state guy, the blue state has the best food,
Oh, yeah.
right? Bo, what would you miss?
Not a ton.
As a liberal, you're feeling pretty good about the states you get.
Honestly, I feel all right. We got Hawaii.
You do have Hawaii. James, what are you missing? You're going to be in this red conglomerate,
Well, the
right?
family's from back east in Ohio, so yeah, I mean, that would be...
You'd miss Ohio?
I wouldn't trade Cleveland for anything.
I'd trade Texas for California so I can go to San Diego.
Okay. Any other trades? Texas for California? Blue side, would you allow that trade?
I'll take Austin for Cleveland, but I don't need all of Texas.
We'll do an Austin for Cleveland?
I don't want Cleveland. He's in Cleveland. I want San Diego.
What will you give up for San Diego?
I would give up Florida.
No thanks.
There's no takers on Florida.
Okay, first of all, I did not think that voice was coming out of that man. Second, I'm totally down for a Cleveland for Austin trade. Hell, let's just give them all of Ohio. We don't need that kind of baggage as we enter the next stage of our lives. And absolutely no way we give up San Diego. You chose Cadet Bone Spurs, you don't get to enjoy those sweet, sweet California beaches. You made your bed with Florida, and now you have to sleep in it. Hell, how about you just do to Donald what he has done to everyone that has been loyal to him and roll his ass under the bus? All will be forgiven, and we can stop talking about this nonsense. This is America, and what makes America great is that we can all be different. We can love who we want to love. We can be who we want to be. So if you want to be a cult member and become so toxic that everyone that knows you permanently socially distances from you, you do you. Let's just not talk about starting a civil war over someone as ridiculous as Donald Trump. But if you're not part of a cult and you enjoy laughing at the antics of Jordan Klepper, check out this video of Jordan Klepper interviewing Trump supporters in his return to the MAGAverse. You won't believe what these people had to say. Thanks a lot for watching this episode of Progressive Matters. Hit the like and subscribe button and turn on notifications. And remember, get educated and get out and vote.